Hey, this is Steve Horvath coming to you from the Oaks Outdoor Show. And I've got a really interesting company here. Probably really interesting because of all the emails I got last night asking for us to do an interview with you. I'm with Bob from Power Team Lures, and Bob's company is a local company. Bob's a fisherman. He's making nice, super premium stuff. And what's more, it's pretty innovative stuff. Uh, how'd you decide to get into this, Bob?
Well, actually, it was my wife's idea. I was always been an avid bass fisherman myself, and I had a lot of ideas. And she said, "Why don't you just come out with your own designs and your own company?" And we joked about it for like 2 weeks, and then before you know it, we were jumping in full bore. Did about 2.5 years of research and development and prototyping, and then we officially launched the business last April.
Okay, so in only 2 years, you're an overnight sensation.
Yes. Yep.
And I have to tell you, you're an internet sensation.
Yeah.
And I think probably, and it's something that I've seen before, and it's tough with fishermen because when they find something good, they don't want to talk about it. They want to keep it secret so nobody else uses it. Well, we're going to blow your cover now. And probably the two that I've heard the most about, and one that I've just found out about, number one is a tickler, which is a drop shot type of worm. The other one is a Texas rig jig. And then we're going to talk about your craw derv. So why don't you lead us in a little bit on the Texas rig jig and what makes it different from whatever's out on the market?
Well, you could take a look at it and notice that it's a lot different from anything else that's on the market. I used to be a big jig fisherman back in the day. That's all I ever threw. One of my hang-ups was, you'd buy a jig for $3 or $4, and you're one of those guys that likes to get into that heavy cover,
right,
you're going to end up getting hung up sooner or later because the weed guard's not going to hold up, and then the hook's going to come out.
Right, and that's our Texas rig jig right there.
Exactly. That's the 4.5 Texas rig jig. I find the best way to rig it is with a 6-aught EWG Superline hook, and it's got a really excellent rate of fall with a half-ounce tungsten weight up on top of it. But you can pitch that in the heaviest cover and not have to worry about getting hung up because the hook's buried back in the nose of it.
Right, and another good feature is you can put that great big hook in it and really hook the fish nice.
Yep.
And it comes in a variety of colors.
9 different colors.
9 different colors, so just about whatever type of water situation you have, clear water, dirty water. If the crawfish in that water are more green or more blue, you've got a color to match.
We got them all covered, yep.
Okay. Well, the next one is the tickler.
Yes.
Now, my buddy Warren swears by the tickler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a big Zoom guy before that.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells me the only thing he fishes on a drop shot, which is about all he fishes anymore, is a tickler.
He's like the drop shot master.
Isn't he?
Yeah. What actually turned him over was there was a tournament at Manasquan Reservoir, and he got beat by a bunch of guys that were throwing a tickler. And
that wasn't Tim, was it?
Yeah, I think Tim
it was Tim because I remember him winning that tournament.
Yeah, there was actually 3 different guys. We all had all first, second, and third place, and
there
the guys
you go.
were fishing on a tickler. And also Lunker was caught on the tickler as well. You know what it is? It's a 5-inch bait. Some people think 5 inches is a little big on a drop shot, but it's got a slim profile. That tail is really, really skinny. And it's just got an amazing neutral buoyancy to it that just lays out horizontally when you got that on that drop shot hook. And the less you work it, the more it actually does. We got about 50% of our guys that fish it on a drop shot, 50% that fish it on a shaky head. We got some guys that do it like a Nico rig.
Okay.
Nico rig it. People split shot it. It's a very versatile little worm. But when you get in those situations where it's either heavily pressured waters or they're just finicky and they don't want to eat, it's going to put 5 in the live well.
Right. Now, for the people who aren't real up on drop shotting and shaky heading, a lot of drop shotting is getting the worm or the bait in front of the fish, slightly off the bottom, and just basically it hovers there and the tail just flutter in front of the fish, and it's great for fish that aren't really active. When the fishing's tough, drop shot catches a lot of fish.
Oh, definitely. A lot of people don't realize, bass, they're like people. They eat a couple times a day. But in between those times, you can work on their instincts. So if you got a bass that's just laying on the bottom because he's in that negative mood, you put that worm above their head and just wiggle it. Eventually, they're just going to get aggravated and just eat it.
Right, kind of like us. If you threw a slice of pizza on the table right now, we'd go diving for it.
We're
not thinking about eating, but put the pizza there, and we'll go for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm starving right now, so if that happened, this interview would be over.
Yeah, I would probably take your arm off to get it anyhow. Okay, let's talk about the craw derv. Now, the craw derv is a very interesting bait because you can do a multitude of things with it. You can use it as a jig trailer full size.
Yep.
You can pinch it off to put it on a little tiny jig so just the little tails are out there. Or you could throw this on, say, a ball jig or something for smallmouth in a river.
Yep.
And a craw d'oeuvre. It's a great name for it because it's just a little bite, a little morsel.
Exactly.
And again, it's a bait where even if the fish isn't really hungry, you know, somebody throws a Snickers bar on the table next to you, you're going to look at it. Well, maybe you won't eat it right now, but you're about to pick it up.
Right.
And this bait also comes in quite a few colors, correct?
Yes. Yep. We got 10 different colors in the craw d'oeuvre. We're actually coming out with three more within the next month and a half. We have 3 other colors coming. One's a smoke purple.
Great color.
And we have a green pumpkin copper flake.
Okay.
And then we're doing another one which has a bright orange red belly with a green pumpkin and blue flake back.
Very natural, especially when the crawfish are molding.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of requests from the West Coast for that color. People are sending us pictures of the crawfish, and yeah, we can mimic it to the T. So yeah, it's a great little bait. I mean, it's very versatile, like you said. I mean, it's fantastic on a shaky head. It's also deadly on a drop shot.
Right.
And you drop shot this bait, especially when the bass are on beds, they just can't stand it. Once again, it's a finesse presentation. One of my favorite ways to fish it is on a 2-watt EWG light wire hook.
Right.
A little 1/8 tungsten weight on it. Just nice and slow, crawl it along the bottom. And even if, once again, the bass are in that negative mood, being that it's a small craw, no bass is going to pass up a small craw that crawls in front of their face, you know?
Right. So, Bob, I think you got some really nice stuff here. I want to thank you for coming. For the fans out there, please come to the show today. It's a beautiful show. We're mobbed right now. I can't emphasize enough. You can see all the stuff here. You can stop by at Susquehanna Bait and Tackle, pick up Power Team Lures from Bob. And for Delaware Valley Outdoors, this is Steve Horvath signing off.